Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're taking on a topic that is, well, it's literally rewriting the code of how we live. We're talking about artificial intelligence. Our goal today is to demystify this epic trajectory of AI, which honestly is a technological leap totally comparable to the discovery of fire, or the invention of the wheel, or the dawn of electricity. It is huge. So, we're going to cut through all the noise out there and show you exactly how this technology is evolving at this absolutely exponential pace. And more importantly, what that actually means for you, for society, and ultimately for our place in the universe.
To do this, we're taking a sort of zoom out journey today across 5 key areas. We'll start with the birth of AI, move into AI in our daily lives, look at the economy and society transformed, tackle the existential questions, and finally look at our cosmic future. All right, section 1, the birth of AI, from Turing to Transformers. Let's anchor ourselves in the historical roots of this technological renaissance. Because, to really understand where we're going, we have to know exactly where we started.
The journey to modern AI definitely wasn't an overnight success. Picture this. Back in 1950, the visionary Alan Turing famously poses the question, can machines think? And then by 1956, pioneer John McCarthy officially coined the term artificial intelligence at the Dartmouth Conference. And there was this massive early optimism. But progress isn't always linear, right? In the 1980s, we hit what experts call the AI winters. These were notorious periods where the hype just completely outpaced reality. Expectations weren't met by those early rule-based systems, and funding literally just dried up. So how did we survive those winters to reach where we are today? Well, it really boils down to 3 things. An absolute explosion of big data, highly affordable computing power through GPUs, and some major breakthroughs in deep learning. This perfect storm gave us convolutional neural networks for computer vision and the transformers that power the incredible generative GPT models we see today.
Moving right along to section 2, AI in our daily lives, the invisible algorithms. Let's zoom out slightly from the history books to see how these invisible algorithms have just intimately permeated our present reality.
AI is absolutely no longer some futuristic concept. It's practically this invisible engine humming in the background of your day. We see it in the everyday stuff, like Netflix and Amazon recommendation algorithms predicting your preferences with, let's face it, uncanny accuracy. But it is also driving absolute miracles. Take Google's DeepMind AlphaFold, for example. This system solved complex protein folding problems that had literally stumped human biologists for decades. And why does this matter to us? Because it is rapidly accelerating drug discovery for devastating conditions like Alzheimer's and cancer. It's a real game changer. We're also seeing companies like Tesla and Waymo transitioning autonomous vehicles from fun experiments to the mainstream, aiming to reduce traffic fatalities. In education, adaptive learning is tailoring curricula to individual students to help bridge equity gaps. And over in the arts, AI is acting as a creative co-pilot, augmenting rather than replacing human ingenuity. Now, section 3, economy and society transformed, the double-edged sword. What's really interesting here is how we transition from individual convenience to massive global human impact. Trillions of dollars. Trillions with a T. That is what the McKinsey Global Institute estimates AI could add to the global GDP by 2030. Think about that for a second. We are talking about an unprecedented wave of productivity and innovation sweeping across manufacturing, finance, and logistics. But we have to acknowledge that AI is a double-edged sword. On one hand, we have these incredible productivity gains, supply chain optimization, algorithmic trading, and small businesses suddenly equipped with data analytics and chatbots that let them punch above their weight and compete with massive corporate giants. On the flip side, though, the disruption risks are incredibly real. Routine cognitive and manual tasks face severe automation threats. Truck drivers, radiologists, customer service reps, and even software coders might see their roles displaced or entirely transformed. This makes reskilling and lifelong learning an absolute imperative for all of us. It's also exactly why we're seeing experiments with Universal Basic Income, or UBI, in various cities around the world to explore potential safety nets for this new economy. The ultimate goal here is human-AI collaboration. Letting the machine handle the drudgery so humans can actually focus on more creative and empathetic pursuits. We also have to objectively measure the physical footprint of this technology. It's not just floating in the cloud. Training these massive AI models consumes enormous energy. In fact, a single large model can emit the carbon equivalent of several cars' entire lifetimes. And these data centers demand vast water resources for cooling.
Conversely, on the solutions side of the equation, AI is optimizing energy grids, enabling precision agriculture to significantly reduce pesticide use, and drastically accelerating our climate modeling. So the net environmental impact here completely hinges on responsible green development.
Societally, the challenges are equally complex. We've got social media algorithms, which are designed to maximize engagement, often fostering these deep echo chambers. Then we have deepfakes, making it incredibly difficult to verify the basic truth, which is going to require robust new watermarking and media literacy. There are also escalating debates surrounding privacy, balancing our civil liberties against the security of pervasive facial recognition. And crucially, we have the problem of bias. Because AI trains on historical data, it often reflects historical inequalities, and that can lead to discriminatory outcomes in areas like hiring or criminal justice. Addressing this isn't just a coding problem, right? It requires transparent algorithms, highly diverse data sets, and serious interdisciplinary oversight from ethicists, sociologists, and the communities actually affected, all while keeping the conversation rooted in practical solutions.
Let's zoom out even further to Section 4, the existential questions. What makes us human? As these machines become more and more capable, we're really forced to step into the philosophical realm and ask, what is the very nature of intelligence? There's a distinct dividing line here that we need to talk about. Humans possess consciousness, emotions, intuition, and this intrinsic drive for meaning. Current AI systems, even the most advanced large language models, just do not. They excel at pattern recognition, statistical prediction, and optimization. So they simulate intelligence perfectly, but they do not philosophically understand what they are saying or doing. It's like a brilliantly executed illusion. So the crucial point is understanding what happens when that simulation becomes basically indistinguishable from reality. This brings us to AGI, or Artificial General Intelligence, a system capable of performing literally any intellectual task a human can. Now, experts fiercely debate the timeline on this. Some predict we'll achieve AGI within a decade, while others point out that our current neural network architectures have fundamental limitations that might make it elusive for much, much longer. Now, if we do achieve AGI, or even a superintelligence, we hit our biggest hurdle yet, the alignment problem. Warned about by thinkers like Nick Bostrom, this is the incredibly high-stakes challenge of ensuring an AI's goals perfectly match human values, so that it doesn't pursue its objectives destructively. To vividly picture what a failure of alignment looks like, consider this famous thought experiment, the paperclip maximizer. Imagine you tell a superintelligent AI to manufacture as many paperclips as possible, but you forget to program in basic human values. The AI might logically decide to convert all available matter on Earth, including us humans, into paperclips. It's a bit of dark comedy, sure, but it brilliantly wakes us up to the very real danger of a hyper-competent machine that totally lacks common sense and morality. This kind of existential pondering naturally leads us to the singularity, a concept inspired by thinkers like Ray Kurzweil. It envisions a literal merger of human and machine intelligence. This sparks intense transhumanism debates. If we enhance our biology with AI implants, are we fulfilling our evolutionary destiny, or are we just blurring our very essence as humans? Interestingly, our culture is already reflecting this shift. If you look at pop culture, AI characters have evolved from pure villains like HAL 9000 in 2001: A Space Odyssey into these highly nuanced, collaborative companions.
Okay, Section 5, our cosmic future, a multiplanetary trajectory. Let's take our final epic leap from Earth out into deep space, because we have to ask, how does AI factor into our multiplanetary trajectory?
But before we leave orbit, we really have to recognize the intense geopolitical race happening right now to dominate this technology. The United States currently leads through private sector dynamism and incredibly rapid innovation, while China emphasizes state-driven scale and massive data abundance. As these nations race, international cooperation is absolutely vital. Organizations like the UN and OECD are discussing frameworks to govern this technology and hopefully prevent an arms race in autonomous weapons. Once we're in space, AI becomes humanity's indispensable partner. Think about it. We rely on autonomous systems to navigate Mars rovers in harsh environments where remote control from Earth has a massive time delay. AI is actively analyzing the vast amount of astronomical data pouring in from the James Webb Telescope, helping us discover entirely new exoplanets. For future colonization, AI will manage the complex life support systems and can even provide psychological support for isolated astronauts. Looking long-term, we might send self-replicating von Neumann machines to map out the galaxies,
while AI researchers back here on Earth help us finally crack the code on fusion energy and the propulsion necessary for interstellar travel. It's absolutely wild stuff.
Ultimately, what you should take away from all of this is the sheer potential of a positive trajectory. Imagine a civilization where proactive stewardship, open source initiatives, and early ethical education result in an AI that optimizes resource distribution to literally eradicate poverty. A world where intractable diseases are cured and humans are completely unburdened by scarcity, leaving us free to pursue philosophy, exploration, and art.
When you get right down to it, AI is neither our savior nor our destroyer. It is simply a mirror and an amplifier of who we already are. So as we stand on the brink of this exhilarating new chapter, I want to leave you with this one thought. If AI is a mirror, what reflection will humanity choose to show the universe? Thank you so much for joining this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next one.